Hello Giants fans, welcome to Giants Baseball 101. I'm Gabe Vaughn, your host. The Giants beat the Cardinals 4-0 today. That 7th inning rally was what did it for them. Joey Bart first got a run on the board by hitting an RBI double, and then they kept rallying. It all culminated in J.D. Davis's home run. So, Giants had been shut out up until that point, but they just found a way in the 7th inning to get a rally going, and that was what they needed, and they won the game. Alex Cobb pitched 9 shutout innings, so it's a complete game shutout for Cobb. He's just been absolutely great today, and the way the Giants have been doing it, you just see multiple games where they use at least 2 multi-inning pitchers to get through, and so it's pretty easy to tell that they're not necessarily looking for the same kind of depth from their starting rotation. Excuse me, that sounds real bad, doesn't it? They're not looking for the same kind of depth in a game from each individual member of the starting rotation. I think that's a little bit down from normal. And yeah, they're not making a priority to have their starters pitch long into games just with the big stockpile of multi-inning arms that they've got, and they're able to use these pitchers as swingmen, and I think that's what's played a role in a lot of it. But Alex Cobb, he was just cruising today, and there was no reason at all to remove him, and he got through 9 innings. But even more striking, honestly, to me, is the fact that Cobb did this while only striking out 4 hitters. This was 9 complete game, shutout, no runs, innings of work, and yet he had only 4 strikeouts in the game. And really, the way he had previously in 2022 especially, I think, been relying on Giants defense that kind of didn't know what it was doing and all that, and you really have to list Alex Cobb as the number 1 pitcher who was just negatively affected by that kind of bad luck, things that were kind of outside of his control. But this time, there were obviously a lot of balls in play against him, and the defense was able to convert them into outs. And I'm not taking credit away from Alex Cobb's super great start today. I'm not doing that at all. It's just the opposite. I think this might be a demonstration that it was correct that the predictions on Alex Cobb, all of that analysis and all of the calculation, making inferences from what his expected ERA was in 2022, what his expected performance overall was, that, I mean, the people that were talking that way, it now seems like they really knew what they were talking about, because you see what the result is for Alex Cobb today. Even though he didn't strike out a lot of hitters, the Giants defense is, according to my understanding, it's a lot better so far this year than what it was last year. And since it was playing better behind Alex Cobb, I think that just had a huge factor, a huge role to play in what happened today. So I think with Alex Cobb, he was just a good signing for the Giants when they signed him, and it was just correct to just make the proper inferences from the bad outings that he had in 2022, and there were balls that weren't being converted into outs. But now it's just what I see from this start in 2023, this 4 strikeout, 9 inning start, is just that, you know, he was, I think he most likely had a lot of control of the strike zone for one thing today, and he was just throwing in locations that he was able to get contact that was turned into outs, basically. And that's what Cobb lived off of today. And really, I wouldn't pay like too much attention. I mean, it can be important, but I wouldn't make it everything like how many strikeouts a pitcher has, because Logan Webb in his first start of the season, it's just an example here, he allowed 4 runs. He struck out 12 hitters, but the Giants lost the game. Here, Alex Cobb, in 9 innings, very low strikeout rate, only 4, and yet he won the game for the Giants, not allowing any runs. So we're really looking at every component of the game. Now, and you could, it's just what I was talking about like just a minute ago. You could go too far on the other end and say that a pitcher is completely responsible for what the defense does on a ball and play and all that. You go too far there. I already got that covered, but I mean, I think you're just looking at the game as a whole, honestly, and what you can really gather from what a pitcher's doing. And if the ball's being hit off him really hard and it's clear that the pitcher's the guy to blame for it, and that would especially apply if he was giving up home runs over the wall, then you could really conclude that he wasn't pitching well. But Alex Cobb today, he really did what the Giants need their rotation to do, and he kept the bullpen from having to be used today. And the hope is just like, outside of this particular game, I mean, obviously our hope would be that that's going to free up the bullpen a little bit and just add to the Giants' flexibility. I think the way they played it this game, just correctly identifying Cobb's stuff as being electric enough to continue for 9 innings tonight. And so, yeah, it was just a great game thrown by Cobb, and I think the majority of it was a strategic thing, just preventing the Cardinals from getting pitches in the locations that they could really hit hard and do damage with. It was all about preventing them from executing their game. And yeah, I think that's really what carried the day for the Giants today. And then going back to the offensive rally in the 7th, they just found a way to break open in a hole. It was another game where they didn't get things going early, but I mean, just like yesterday, they found a way to get in there, to get runs on the board in the 8th inning. And the Giants' innings can be big when they find a way to get something started and don't strand runners. Then you usually see a big inning. And the home run by J.D. Davis, it was just because the Giants, they have that kind of home run power. And if they can consistently, like keep innings going and just not strand runners, then if they're lucky enough to have the home runs come at those particular times, it's going to do a lot of damage in the Giants' favor. I mean, they're bad when they let their rallies get squashed and their hitters can't, step up and do something at the plate at the right time. But when they're able to keep those innings going, then you just realize the home run power in the roster is real. And if you get someone up who can do it, and J.D. Davis, he is a powerful hitter. With all of the bad stuff that you can say about what the Giants did at the 2022 trade deadline, I don't approve of it at all, but I think we do have to say that J.D. Davis, for all of his, maybe not so interesting stats with the Mets previously in 2022, I think I have to say that in acquiring J.D. Davis, and I don't remember being hyper excited about him when they first got him either. I totally expected him to be an average player. I didn't think he was going to struggle, but I wasn't hyper excited because I didn't think he'd be like a star player. But I have to say that the Giants hit above the mark, I think, on J.D. Davis. And it just seems to be the case because, I mean, not only has the overall OPS been good in 2022 and 2023 so far, but he's hit for power and he's been able to hit those home runs, and that's what he did today. So his bat's just been really valuable for the Giants, and I think that's where just an area where the Giants got above their mark on J.D. Davis, and honestly, that's great. There are plenty of players where they're getting below their mark, and starting pitcher Ross Stripling, was talking about him yesterday, he might be one of those, but J.D. Davis is clearly a guy who, at least coming this far, has hit the over for the Giants, and really, that's great. So they have the ability to hit home runs when it comes with 2 runners on base, like he did today. I mean that's a 3-run home run. That's 3 runs in an inning, and you can really only do so much in terms of lineup construction. I mean, it's probably something the Giants want to think about, and I'm confident they already are, since you don't know what's going to happen in what particular inning and what order the Giants, what order your batters are going to be hitting in. There's really not that much you can do to prepare for every game situation and every critical inning in terms of lineup construction, but if these home run hitters can continue to deliver consistently enough that they're just, you can have a high expectancy of home runs in these kind of situations, that's what's going to be great for the Giants. So hitting and pitching, it really worked well together today, and the Giants have won their 3rd game in a row, so hopefully that's a sign of getting back on track. Thank you for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101. Please subscribe if you haven't. We're 3 subscribers away from being able to go live. As I understand the way YouTube works here, we should be 3 subscribers away, and that shouldn't be too hard of a threshold to reach to get to 50, so please subscribe if you haven't. Also, please leave your questions and comments. You know where to do it. I'll see you next time on Giants Baseball 101.